Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee. My nose is itching really bad. Hold on. I wasn't going to make it through that. Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee. So let's start shooting. Today's topic is an easy one. What is your favorite self-defense ammo? What self-defense ammo do you think is best? What do you trust your life to most often? Do you have a very specific one you like? Do you have like a specific type you like? Does it just have to be a certain brand, certain loading? What is it? With me, it doesn't really seem to matter what caliber I carry because, I carry a couple of different guns, generally 357 Magnum. But it comes down to two manufacturers I really like. Well, there's three. I really like Corbon, but I'm never sure if Corbon's still in business because I can never seem to find their stuff. And when I look, it's like, so a lot of people are like, why did Corbon go out of business? And people are like, I don't think it did. So I never know. But the two I usually resort to more than anything is Underwood. Generally, they're extreme penetrators or extreme defenders, or Fort Scott with their TUIs, their tumble upon impact bullets. I love those bullets. They do a lot of damage in soft tissue. And since they're solid copper, they can get through bones and stuff to do that damage in soft tissue. So very fond of them. Now, which one do I think is best? Well, I kind of lean towards the Underwood, but only for one reason. I really like the TUIs. I like the way they behave, but Underwood has a lot of different types of ammo. So if you went with Underwood as a brand, you've got all kinds of difference. You got solid coppers, you got defenders, you got penetrators, you've got cast bullets, you've got all kinds of different types. So as far as brand goes, I probably buy Underwood when it comes to self-defense ammo more than anything else. But if you're looking at just one round from each manufacturer, I'm going to say it's the Fort Scott TUI ammo. I just love it. Now, it doesn't run in some semi-autos like my, what do you call that thing? What is that? It's the Bond to Arms bullpup. Won't cycle in those to save its life. That won't work at all. So can't use it in that. So you have to know what you can use it in. But when it's revolvers or a gun that takes it, I love the Fort Scott. Now, if I'm stocking up long-term, different story. But that's my choice for self-defense ammo. Or specialty self-defense ammo, I should say. Let's see what everybody else had to say over here. See if anybody is weighing in over here. John Mandrick said, I use Hornady Critical Defense. I've got some Hornady Critical Defense right here that I just got in the mail. 32 ACP because I couldn't find anywhere to buy. So I had to order it through the mail. And I also got some Fort Scott coming. So I like Hornady Critical Defense too. It's not super hot ammo. It's never going to be like the hottest loading you can find, but it is a reliable, dependable, proven bullet with a proven design that always functions well. So I like Hornady Critical Defense. Daniel Mann chimed in and said, I like Federal HST. Been carrying it for a few years. I know a lot of people like Federal HST. It's very popular around with a certain group of people. I've never really been the biggest fan. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I've never been the biggest fan. Danny Pint, whatever it is. Federal 124 grain standard pressure or Underwood 200 grain hard nose, Saber, Palm, and Counter Assault are all good OC formulas too. I'm not familiar with all of those, but I'll take your word for it. I like the Underwood too, so I can't complain. John Heasley said Black Talon. That was so popular for a while. It was like Black Talon. Everybody's like, if you're going to be operator, you got to have some Black Talons. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not operator because I don't really have many. That's not the real reason I'm not operator, but it's close. Mr. Furley said Federal HST 147 grain and 124 plus P. I think he's talking a specific caliber there, but yeah, the Federals are nice. A lot of people like them. Like I said, I personally never been a fan of them. Not a detractor of them. Just it's never been something I buy. I never stock up on that. I have some, but it's not like it's ever like, oh, I got to go out and find some of that. It's what I would buy if I couldn't find any Corbon or any of the other brands I wanted. Which is most of the time I can't find Corbon. Paul B said, "Hail Phil, like Hornady, critical duty, not defense this time, critical duty, not not DOODY, DUTY, critical duty." And there's a difference. People always ask me, "What's the difference?" And I'm like, very little. But there is a difference. Do you want heavier, maybe a little slower bullets? You want faster, lighter bullets? Depending on which one you want to go with. Micah D says Sig Elite V Crown. I have not shot any Sig ammo, the Sig Elite ammo, the V Crown ammo. I don't think I've shot a single round of it. I know I haven't bought any of it, and I don't think I've ever shot any that was owned by anybody else. Because mostly I shoot my own ammo, so I don't have any experience with it. I mean, I'm sure it's good quality stuff. A lot of people like it, say it's top notch, but I just have no experience with it whatsoever. So I can't say if you're right or you're wrong. I'll just say you're wrong just for the sake of it. Just go, wrong answer. Even though you could be the best ammo ever for all I know. I just like the idea that Mikey D's wrong. Hand-loaded Spear Gold Dot HP and Sierra Match King HP in 9mm 357 SIG, 45 ACP, 45 Colt, 45 Win Mag. Works in all calibers. Also, the Spear 260 3/4-inch jacket hollow point. These reloaders get too involved. I don't know what they're talking about. John Baloney Jr. weighed in here at the end and said, Underwood and then Federal HST for pistols, Hornady for IMI or IMI for rifles. It seems like we had a real winner tonight in Hornady. A lot of people like Hornady and Federal HST. And then I think people liked Underwood. That was probably the one that came in third. I'm surprised more people didn't say Corbon. Corbon is very good ammo. I love Corbon. But like I said, I never know if they're still in business or not because their ammo seems to be hard to find. When you do find it, it's few and far between. So I'm just never sure what's going on with them. But I like them. And here's another one that I actually like that I'm surprised more people didn't say. Adam Jacobys said Spear Gold Dot. G2LE is my go-to for my carry guns. Gold Dot used to be a lot bigger than it is now, too. I have quite a bit of Gold Dot. I used to stock up on Gold Dot. That used to be my go-to in 9mm and stuff. When I couldn't find Corbon, I would go with Spear Gold Dot. And if I couldn't find that, I'd go with the Federal HST. But usually I could find one of those two. So I'm surprised more people didn't say Spear Gold Dot. I'm surprised it's the underdog in this because that's a great ammo. So Corbon, great. Spear is great. Underwood, I think I'm the only one that said Fort Scott. Anybody that hadn't tried Fort Scott should try that stuff out. That's pretty good. Especially pay attention to their hard barrier testing and their soft tissue testing. It's pretty impressive stuff when you combine those two things. It's very seldom you find a round that can not only get through the car door or the car glass, but then when it does, it can maintain integrity and trajectory and then do damage in soft tissue. So I suggest you look at it. No, I'm not paid by them. In fact, the owner of the company and I do not get along. I don't like him. I remember he basically called me once and chewed me out. And I was just like, yeah, thanks, whatever, bye, click. So long story. I think I told that story online before. But no, I don't get along with the owner at all. So I got no reason to promote their product. I just like it. So there you go. So there's the choices today. There's what everyone else mentioned. Like I said, not surprised by the ones that did show up, but surprised by some of the ones that didn't show up much, like Spear and Corbon. But what do you think out there in YouTube land? What's your favorite ammo? What ammo do you trust for self-defense? I'm not talking stocking up for range or bad times. I'm talking that ammo you buy just for self-defense. What is it? What's your preference? Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, come to one of our live chats. We do them every night at 6 p.m., except for Wednesdays like today when they're at 7 p.m. Everyone's welcome. Anybody can show up. You don't have to be a supporter of the channel or anything like that. Just show up, give your opinion, even if it's different than mine, especially if it's different than mine. And then hang around afterwards for the open chat. where we talk about guns, cars, wrestling, and other manly man stuff. Just stick around, talk about whatever you want, basically. Well, we do tend to lean towards guns and gun related stuff, but we do ask some off the wall questions in the open chat. So come be part of the conversation. I hope to see everybody again tomorrow. Thanks to everybody who weighed in and participated. I appreciate it. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.